Nice.
Yes, good day, sir. So, my dear kids, today I'm going to do geometry for you. I'm going to teach you that geometry from grade 9 to 11. Okay. So, raise your hand if there are any grade 9 students here. Please raise your hand. Raise your hand. Lakdil, yes. Kids, you have to learn this now. So, in grade 7, 8, 9, you learn that first geometrical theorem, angles on a straight line. Add up to 180. This is the first geometrical theorem you have learned in grade, I think from grade 7, you learned that in grade 7. Grade 7 you learned that. So if this is A, if this is B, you can write A plus B equals 180. This is the first geometrical theorem. Kudala, if you can sort out that all geometrical theorems in your syllabus, that means syllabus means not a particular grade, in your all grades, the all geometrical theorems which you have learned from grade 7 to 11, then this geometry part is easy for you. So keep that in your mind. This is the first geometrical theorem. Angles on a straight line add up to 1 point. Second one, angles at a point add up to 360 degrees. Angles at a point add up to 360 degrees. So if you are from Cambridge, I think that Cambridge students are also there. If you are from Cambridge, Puda, this part is common for you also. So if you are doing Cambridge O levels, they will give you a geometry question. So you have to refer them to do that question. You have to keep these theorems in your mind. Okay. So angles at a point add up to 360 degrees. This is the angle. There are a lot of angles, A, B, C, D, like that. Then you can write A plus B plus C plus D equals how much? 360 degrees. Please copy.
I'm going to put up a language.
I'm going to make this first one. So the next one is third one, parallel lines. This parallel line thing is very important. It is here that you learn that from grade 9. You are starting this session in grade 9. So parallel line, it is like this. These two are parallel. If this is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. To the first one, they will tell you alternate angles are equal. Alternate angles are equal. Alternate angles are equal. How can you identify whether they are alternate or not? So, Buddha connection problem.
Recording start, stop here.
Yes, Baba, now it's okay. So, see, alternate angles are equal. So, how can you identify that alternate angles? Letter Z. So, you can see C letter is including A and F. Therefore, A equals F. C letter is including E and D. Therefore, E equals D. Okay, you write that. Next one, alternate angles are equal. Next one is corresponding angles are. Corresponding angles are also equal. Corresponding angles are equal. So how can you detect corresponding angles? Letter F. Letter F. So if you consider letter F one side, then these two are corresponding. Got it, my dear kids? These two are corresponding. Corresponding angles are equal. So here you can see corresponding. If I consider D, the corresponding one with D is G. D equals G. D equals G. Next one, F equals C, corresponding. Did you get it, my dear kids? Next one, B equals C. B equals C. Next one,
Yes, sir.
A equals H. Yes, Putala, A equals H. So you have to write it like this. Those angles we called as corresponding. Corresponding angles are equal. What is that? Equal. Nimsaran, did you get this, my dear? Mahisha? So write it. In the same parallel lines angle, you have to learn another theorem called as allied angles. Allied angles are not equal, allied angles add up to 180. Allied angles add up to 180. How can you identify allied angles? Letter C, not C, letter C. So these two angles are we called as allied. Here you can see what are the allied angles. D and F. D plus F equals 180. Another one, A plus E equals 180. A and E. So they are not equal. Sum of them are equals 180. A plus E equals 180. Do you have any problem, Lamai? Do you have anything to ask? Vertically opposite angles are equal. You have to write vertically opposite angles are vertically opposite angles are equal. How can you find vertical opposite angles? If we consider two lines like this, these two are vertically opposite. These two are vertically opposite. From the figure, we can say B and D are equals, A and C are equals, E and G are equals, H and F are equals, HF equals. Those we call as what? Vertically opposite angles. Please copy this. Big sense letter now. It's cover this quickly. So next one, third one, the fourth one. I have to go to triangles. In the triangle part, first you have to learn about section A, sum of interior angles. This of a triangle is 180. Sum of interior angles of a triangle is 180. If I consider a triangle, if this is A, B, C, A plus B plus C equals 180. Next one, exterior angle of a triangle. Exterior angle of a triangle add up to interior opposite angles. That means if this is a triangle, if this is an exterior angle C, if this is A, if this is B, you can write A plus B equals, you can write what? A plus B equals C. Exterior angle equals sum of interior opposite angles. Interior opposite angles. Okay, not interior angle, interior opposite. Interior opposite means this is the interior angle, but these two are the interior opposite angles. Interior opposite angles. Please copy this. The sum of exterior angles of a triangle is 360 degrees. That means if I consider triangle, this is an exterior, this is an exterior, then this is an exterior. So if I name them as A, B, C, A plus B plus C equals how much? 100, so 360. There is an equation to find. There is an equation. The Cambridge ones are using this to find the sum of interior angle of any polygon. Sum of interior angles. Sum of interior angles of any polygon is, what is that equation? 180 into n minus 2. 180 into n minus 2. This equation will give you sum of interior angle of any polygon. Here n means number of sides. N means number of sides. This equation will give you sum of interior angles of any polygon. Any. If I consider archival as a polygon, I can find sum of interior angles of archival. If archival is a polygon, polygonal shape. Next one is D. Today we have talked about congruency of triangles. Guys, do you know what is that congruency means? What is the meaning of congruency? Congruent means what? Is that anyone know what is congruency?
Sama-samaan.
So they can't hear you. Both are identical. Teakshan Fabian, identical. If triangles are identical, we call them as congruency. How can you prove that two triangles are identical to each other? There are 4 methods of showing that two triangles are identical to each other. What are those 4 methods? First one is SSS. Second one is you can prove side and one angle and other side is equal. Next one is angle side. Fourth one is right hypotenuse side. So if I'll explain this one, here Puta, you have to prove that in two triangles, in two triangles, you have to prove that 3 of their sides are equal. 3 sides of them are equal. 3 sides are equal. Next one, side angle side. Side angle side means here it is having kind of special thing you have to consider. To be congruent in side angle side, the angle should be, if this is the equal angle, if this is the other equal angle, if this is the equal side, if these two sides are equal, then this side and this side are equal. So this angle should be the angle in between two equal sides. Angle should be the angle that in between two equal sides. That means angle need to be produced by two equal sides. Angle need to be produced by two equal sides. So we can say these two triangles are congruent, identical in what method? SAS method. That is the second one. Third one, two triangles you have to prove they are identical. That means congruent in angle side method. Angle side method means two angles, but side can be any side. No need to be in between the two angles. Okay, side can be any side. Any side can be equal. Any side can be equal. Equal in angle side method. RHS method, we can apply that for right angle triangle. We can apply that for right angle triangles. RHS method. You have to prove that it is having 90 degrees. For R, right means 90 degrees. And hypotenuse of them are equal. Hypotenuse of them should be equal. And any other side should be equal. Right? Hypotenuse side. So those are the 4 methods of showing or proving that triangles are congruent. Triangles are congruent. If you can prove that two triangles are congruent, then you can say their corresponding elements are equal. Wait little. Udala, please tell me if you have a problem in this congruency is like this. Rasin, think about you. You have a sister. You told me that you have a sister. If someone asks you how to prove that sister is absolutely yours, sometimes you may adopt it. Sometimes you may adopt it. I'm not telling like that. That's a joke. It's not true. But how can you prove that sister is really yours? How? By doing a DNA test. By doing a DNA test. So triangles, it is not having DNA test. No. So triangles, what is the test we call it? Congruency. You know, in humans and in animals, you can do a DNA test to prove your origin, to say your origin. Like that, triangles are having these 4 methods to show they are same, identical. If I consider SSS method, that means I have to get 2 triangles. I have to prove their all 3 sides are equal. According to us, I have to prove their all 3 sides are equal. Then I can say 2 triangles are congruent in SSS method. Same, two triangles are same in SSS method. Got it, Wasim?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Another method, you can say that two triangles are same in SAS method. Another method, you can say that two triangles are congruent in AAS method. Like that, there are 4 methods to show that two triangles are congruent. Got it, Wasim?
Yes, sir.
If I can say that two siblings are identical, their corresponding elements are also same. That means if I can say that Mahish and Disandhu are identical to each other, their corresponding elements are same. Corresponding elements means left eye with left eye, right eye with right eye, left hand with left hand, right hand with right hand, like that. Corresponding elements are same. We call it as what? Corresponding elements are same. If you can prove that two triangles are congruent, then you can say their corresponding elements are same. Their corresponding elements are also same. That means these two angles are also same. That is the advantage. That is the instance of using this corresponding of triangle theorem. You are using this corresponding theorem to prove, congruent theorem. You are using this congruent theorem to prove their corresponding angles are same. Got it? Then triangles at congruency is over. Next theorem in triangle is what? Equiangular triangle. Equiangular triangles. Equiangular triangles means it is not like corresponding, congruent. Equiangular means if this is a triangle ABC, if this is a triangle PQR, if you can show their corresponding angles are same, this one equal to this one, this one equal to this one, then this one equals to this one. If you can show their corresponding angles are same, then you can write a relationship between their sides. If I consider ABC triangle as the numerator, PQR triangle as the denominator, the ratio of their corresponding sides, are same. That means cross and dot BC, cross and dot in ABC triangle. What is the cross and dot in PQR triangle? PQ equals dot and line in ABC triangle AC over dot and line in PQR triangle is QR equals cross and line in ABC triangle AB over cross and line means PR. This is the relationship. If you can show at least two angles of two triangles are same, then you can write down this relationship. Before you are writing down this relationship, you have to show equal angles of two triangles by using these symbols. By using these symbols, then you can easily write this relationship. Example, BC I can write it as 6. PQ is 4. Then QR I can write as PQ. PQ is 4. Then QR I can write as what? 8. Then if they ask to find QR, not QR, AC I can write as what? 8. If they ask to find QR, If they ask to find QR, how can you find it? Write data. Then you can use, you don't need AB or PR, you don't need that relationship. You don't need that. You can use only these two. You can use only these two. BC is how much? 6. PQ is how much? 4. So after you've written this relationship, then you can substitute data. Equals AC is how much? 8. PR you don't know. You have to find it. QR, sorry. PQ you don't know. QR you don't know. You have to find it. You have to find that. So you have to subject QR. Bring it here. Then 6 QR over 4 equals 8. You have shift 4 there, 6 here. Then QR equals how much? QR equals 16 divided by 3. That means how much? It is like 5.3 something. 5.3 something. Then you can find the unknown. You can find the term they ask to find. It is easy. Got it, Sanuti Mudali again? When they ask to consider about,
Okay, sir.
did you get this? Sanuti?
Yes, sir.
So it's easy. Sanuti? Next relationship is midpoint theorem. What is that? Midpoint theorem. F. Midpoint theorem. In that midpoint theorem, they said the line which join midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side. The line which join midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side. You have to write the theorem. The line which join midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side and half of the third side. Half of the third side. What is the meaning of that? If I consider this triangle is ABC, if this is PQ, look at this. P and Q are midpoints of AB and AC. P and Q are midpoints of AB and AC. The line which join P and Q is parallel to the PQ is parallel to the BC. PQ is parallel to BC. Another one, PQ is half of BC. This is the theorem. The line which join midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side and half of the third side. Did you get that, my dear kids? Easy. I'm telling it is easy, but I don't know what about you. If you have any problem, you can ask Lehan, Salahdin, Mohammed, Navindi, Oshadi. Okay, Lama, now triangle, the triangle part is also over. Okay. Then I have to move to what? Fifth one. Figures in between parallel lines. Figures in between parallel lines. If I consider triangles in between same parallel lines, look at this, not so easy. Triangles in between parallel lines, two triangles A, B, C, another triangle A, B, P. You can see both of these two triangles are having the same base. In a triangle ABC equals to the triangle ABP in area. Two triangles are equal in area when they lie on the same base and in between same parallel lines. If the two triangles lie on the same base and in between same parallel lines, those two triangles are equal in area. This is for triangles. Then if I consider it for parallelograms, these two are parallel to each other, these two parallel to these two, then another one, two parallelograms. This is A, B, C, D, this is PQ. Two parallelograms. A, B, C, D parallelogram equals to A, B, Q, P parallelogram are equal in area. Two parallelograms also equal in area when they lie on the same base and in between same parallel lines. When they lie on the same base and in between same parallel lines, two parallelograms are also equal in area. Look at this, both of them are having the same base. Here also two triangles are having the same base. Today, next one is a triangle and a parallelogram. A triangle and a parallelogram. Two lines are parallel to each other. Two lines are parallel to each other. There is a triangle. If this is ABC, there is a triangle and a parallelogram. Triangle and a parallelogram, which lies in between same parallel line and lie on the same base. We have to tell, we have to name it as area of triangle ABC equals area of triangle ABC equals half of the area of parallelogram ABPQ. This is the theorem. Area of the triangle ABC is half of the area of the parallelogram when they lie on the same base, and in between same parallel lines. When they lie on the same base and in between same parallel lines. That this is the relationship between their areas. My dear kids, do you have any problem? It's for triangles. Sixth one, no? No, triangles, parallelogram. Next one is parallelograms. Because they said, if it is a parallelogram, they say that if it is a parallelogram, opposite, there are few theorems that you have to learn. If this is A, B, C, D, if it is a parallelogram, the first theorem is opposite angles are equal. That means this is equal to this. This is equal to this. Opposite sides are equal. This is equal to this. This is equal to this. Next one, diagonals bisect each other. Diagonals bisect each other. Diagonals means what? The line which join vertices of the figure. Vertices. The line which join vertices of the figure. Diagonals bisect each other. Diagonals bisect each other means this diagonal separates.
Sir, vertically or vertices?
Vertices, Baba. Vertices. Diagonals. Diagonals means line which join vertices of the figure. Vertices. So each diagonal bisect each other. Each diagonals bisect each other. Bisect means separate into same sections. Separate into same sections. Same parts, equal parts. Diagonals bisect each other. Next one. Area of a parallelogram. Area of a parallelogram bisect by each diagonal. That means if the area of this parallelogram is 24, then I can say ABC triangle. The area of ABC triangle is 12, half of it. Half of it. Area of the parallelogram bisect by each diagonal. By a diagonal, that area of the parallelogram separate into two equal halves. That is the last theorem. My dear kids, did you get this? Putala, if they ask to prove a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, the best way is you have to prove opposite sides are equal and parallel. If you can prove that opposite sides of a quadrilateral is equal and parallel, then you can say it is a parallelogram. Got it, my dear kids? Esadi? So next one is what, Uday? Seventh one, last one, circles. Uday, I told you this is the importance of this lesson. In your paper, you know that there are two parts. Part 1, two parts, part A and B. In this part A, they will ask 6 questions from this geometry. That means 2 marks each, 12 marks for geometry. 6 questions from this geometry. So if you need to practice this, now you ask me, sir, papers, questions, questions. If I supposed to do questions, I cannot cover this within 2 hours. I have to do this session for 4 hours or more than 4 hours if I try to go to questions. Because that one paper 2 question takes more than 30 minutes to discuss it with you. One second part question. So 12 marks for that. In part 2, there are 2 sections called as A and B. In section A, you have 6 questions, but you have to write only 5 questions out of that. In part B, again 6 questions, but you have to write only 5 questions from that. Today, within this part 2, section B, it has 2 types of geometrical question. One geometrical question based on triangles, other geometrical question based on circles. So I told you there are 6 questions. You have to write 5 questions compulsorily. You have to answer 5 questions. So if you skip circle geometry question, you have to do triangular one. That means geometry is compulsory. You cannot give up. Did you get what I said? If you select triangle question, you have to choose circle question. If you skip any other question except of geometry, if you skip any other question from these 6 questions, that means you have to do 2 of these geometry questions. So in part 2B, you have to practice to do all other 4 questions and try to skip only one geometry question. That is how you have to choose. If you are going to choose that question from the rest of that 4 questions, you have to decide, you have to choose all of this. You have to do all of these 2 geometrical questions. You have to do these 2 geometrical questions. If you are going to skip the rest of 4 questions. Did you get what I said? Lehan sir?
Yes, sir, I got it.
So that's why this geometry part is really important. So I told you, if you're supposed to do that remaining 4 questions, all remaining 4 questions, you have to do one of this at least. So one of this is getting 10 marks. So altogether 22 marks it is coming from geometry out of 200. 22 marks out of 200 means out of 100 it is 11 marks coming from geometry. And this is not only the part. In construction they will give you a geometry question also. But I'm not carrying that one here. Without that construction one, it is having 11 marks out of 100 you have to score from geometrical theorems. That's why I told you, you have to keep that all geometrical theorems in your mind. The disadvantage is you are not learning them in the same grade. You are learning them from grade 6, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10 level, not 6, grade 7, 8, 9, 10 level. You are going to build up your knowledge from grade to grade. But keep this in your mind. If you are going to drop that first stage, that means you cannot do this, you cannot get this 11 marks in your O-levels. If you are going to give up that first stage, that means angles on a straight line theorem, if you are feeling, "Ayyo, that is difficult," this 11, you cannot make hopes about this. You cannot make hopes about this 11 marks in your O-levels. That means one grade drop down from that moment. You can't get a pass. That's why I told you. So Puta, here I given you all theorems. Just do them, write them, and keep them in your mind. You have to draw them, write the theorem in piece of papers, and you have to get them into your mind. Then only you have after that you have to do past papers. Paper 1, that 6 questions, you have to choose it from the past paper, try to do them. Paper 2, that 2 geometrical questions, try them. Then you can improve your geometrical theorem, not geometrical knowledge. But keep this in your mind. It is so difficult to get this 10 out of 10 for these 2 geometrical questions. For these 2, it is difficult to get 10 out of 10. It is difficult because it depends on your thinking capacity. For other questions, you are not using thinking ability. No. You are just memorizing the method and you are trying to do it. But for these questions, you have to put higher effort about what? Of your thinking capacity. Thinking. I know that most of students cannot think. You are trying to get everything from others. Mom is feeding, the dad is giving everything. Teachers are giving you everything. You are not thinking, you are just staying at watching that laptop or mobile phone.
Sir,
That's what you are doing.
how teachers are teaching?
After this 10 minutes, you have to connect again. So, circles, if I draw a first theorem, first one, angle subtended at the center is twice of the angle at the remaining part. What is that about? If I consider a circle like this is the center O, angle subtended at the center is this angle. This angle twice of this. If this is x, this angle is 2x. That is the relationship. Angle subtended at the center is this. Angle subtended at the remaining part is this. Then angle subtended at the center is twice of the remaining part. I can draw it like this also. If this is x, then this is also 2x. Or I can draw it like this also. If this is the angle subtended at the remaining part, if this is x, then the angle subtended at the center is angle subtended at the center is this reflex one. This is 2x. Got it, my dear kids? If this is the angle subtended at the remaining part, then twice of this is the reflex one, not this interior one. Twice of this is the reflex one. Keep these 3 figures in your mind. Yeah, I'm going to erase this topic. Okay, I'm going to erase this topic, Fabian. Topic only. Then put a B. In that B1, angles on the same segment are equal. Angles on the same segment are equal means if I consider a circle, this is an angle on the segment, this is the angle on the same segment, this is the angle on the same segment. All of these angles are equal. Angles on the same segment are equal means this angle, this angle, this angle, all are equals. All are equals. Angles on the same segment are equal. Angles on the same segment are equal. Then C1, angle on a semicircle is 90 degrees. Angle on a semicircle is 90 degrees means Puta, if I consider a circle and if this is a diameter, diameter means Puta, it goes to center. If AB is a diameter, then angle on that diameter is 90 degrees. Angle on that diameter is 90 degrees. Angle on a semicircle is 90 degrees. Next one. The line which join center of the circle to the midpoint of a chord is perpendicular. It is like this. The line which join, if this is a chord, the line which join 2 points of a circle is a chord. This is the center. Look at this. If M is the midpoint, look at this carefully. If this is M, midpoint means these two parts are same. The line which joins center of the circle to the midpoint of the chord is perpendicular. That is a theorem. The line which joins center of the circle to the midpoint of a chord is perpendicular. Perpendicular. That is a theorem. I know it is difficult for you to memorize it at the same time, but at the end of the class, at the end of the session, try to refer it by yourself. Next one. E. Angle on the alternate segment is equal to the angle between chord and tangent. Angle between chord and tangent. Because this one is a new thing which they add into your syllabus. They will ask that mostly in part 1A section. They will ask this mostly in part 1A section. It is like this. Pute, the line which touch the circle, we called as what? Tangent. Then this is the point of tangent. This is the chord. This is the chord which drawn to that point of tangent. The angle between this chord and the tangent, this angle, if this angle is A, is equal to the angle on the alternate segment. Means if I draw a triangle here, if I draw a triangle to this chord, angle on the alternate segment means this one is equal. That means these two angles are equal. Okay, there is a circle. This is a tangent. This is the chord that due to that point of tangent. Now here you can see a chord and tangent both. Chord and tangent. Yes, chord and the tangent. Okay, with the chord and the tangent, this angle is equal to the, if I draw a kind of triangle here, this angle. If this is A, then you can name this is also A. The two angles are equal. Two angles are equal. Got it, Pava? So here, this one is the angle subtended at the alternate segment equal to the angle between chord and tangent. Copy this. After that, I'm going to move to the next session. Next one is cyclic quadrilateral. Cyclic quadrilateral, that means a quadrilateral which touch the circumference of a circle. It is like this. The quadrilateral which touch the circumference of a circle. This quadrilateral we called as what? Cyclic quadrilateral. In cyclic quadrilateral, opposite angles add up to 180. If this is A, if this is B, A plus B equals 180. In cyclic quadrilateral, opposite angles add up to 180. Opposite angles add up to 180. Opposite angles add up to 180. In cyclic quadrilateral, if I extend it to one side, if I extend it, this exterior angle, if that exterior angle is C, exterior angle equals to the interior opposite angle. This exterior angle equal to the interior opposite angle. That means I told you, interior angle is this, interior opposite is this. Exterior angle equals to the interior opposite angle. Exterior angle equals to the interior opposite angles. Got it, my dear kids? You have to copy this. So the last one is, this is which one? This is F net G. Tangents. Put tangents means, I told you, tangent means the line which touch the circle. Tangent means lines which touch the circle. If these 2 points are the points which touch the circle, then you can say that Px and Py are two tangents drew from the same external point. If this is the center, the first theorem, the line which joins center of the circle to the point of tangent is perpendicular. First theorem, OYP equals OXP equals 90. The line which joins center of the circle to the point of tangent is perpendicular. That is the first theorem. The line which joins center of the circle to the point of tangent is perpendicular. Next one, Px and Py are equal. This is the important theorem. They will ask this theorem in geometry. That's why I told construction. That's why I told you construction also they are asking a theorem of 2 marks. If you can't keep this theorem in your mind, then you can't do that last question of the construction part. Px equals Py, two tangents drew from the same external point are equal in length. My dear kids, do you have any problem about this? Prashna thi, the Prashna. Do you have any problem about this?
Then the second theorem, Px is equal to Py.
Yeah, Px equal to Py. That means these two tangents are equal in length because it drew from the same external point. Got it, Lihansa?
Yes, I got it.
So, Buddha, this is the end of our today's seminar session. Yes, Sujesha, tell me. Okay. This is the end of our today's seminar session. So, hope to see you again next week, Wednesday, with a science lesson. I'm going to do science and math simultaneously, I told you. So, next week we are doing science lesson. So, my dear kids, good night for you, and please study them and try to get a good result for your exam. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Good night, Lamai.
God bless.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.